It's really alarming to know that men and women are not taking equal responsibility in their financial decision making, especially when they're in a relationship. So today, myself and Nani from Rise High Financial Solutions will be unpacking this. We're going to be talking about the inequality of financial literacy across men and women. There's been some really interesting studies that have come out recently about women and men and the role they both play in terms of determining their financial decisions and their financial well-being. And quite frankly, we're a little scared. So today's all about, unwrapping that, talking about what the statistics are telling us, looking at solutions, because it's really important that men and women are equally contributing to financial decisions that affect their financial well-being. And I'm really glad to be joined by Nani today. My name's Marissa. For those of you that don't know me, we're from Rise High, and we at Rise High are passionate about financial literacy. And especially, Nani does a lot of work in the space of financial literacy for women. So that's why I'm so glad that Nani could join me today. Thanks, Nani.
Thank you, Marissa.
And this is obviously a topic that's really close to your heart, really close to both of our hearts, because we see firsthand how important having that financial literacy and that financial confidence is. Why is this a topic that you really are passionate about, Nani?
Well, it is very important as, inherently, we always learn it from our moms that a lot of the times finances are something that the male take care of. And I think in today's world, it is more important than before for us to actually take responsibility. We can't say that, I am in the space I am because of this and that. We ourselves will have to take responsibility. And I think, as you know, Marissa, that female has actually got a very good brain with, I know we don't think so, financially, we are extremely capable of making the right financial decisions. Yeah. And so I think, it is very important that in today's world that we address the gap between the gender from the financial perspective.
Absolutely. So let's get into it, Nani. I mean, there was a study recently conducted by UBS, and there's been a whole heap of studies around this topic. There were thousands of men and women surveyed, from millennials to boomers. And we're going to sort of focus on, we'll talk about all age groups, but I'm specifically really concerned about the millennials from what's coming out of these studies. The findings in these studies show that only 20% of Australian couples are equally contributing to financial decisions, which I just feel is not good enough.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yes, I agree. I mean, from that study, it actually says that 88% of millennial women, which is basically between the age of 25 to 40, are actually interested to be financially equal in making decisions. However, after the marriage, strangely enough, only 20% of them are actually participating equally in the financial decisions.
So what is it about having that wedding and having that marriage that turns the millennial women of our country from wanting to be involved in the financial decisions to then deciding, I'll just leave it to my husband and I'm happy to, trust his decision making and I don't need to be involved anymore. I mean, it's just such a scary thought that it transfers so quickly upon that, decision of marriage.
Yeah, that's right. And I think from the study, it was identified that a lot of the millennial women are saying that, it was easier. They just think that the husband knows better. It is something that they learn inherently from their mom. That's how the structure of the family focus on. It is also because, I guess, for women, a lot of time we got distracted with household items, household chores, the children, the school. And so it becomes just a role that each party take. And I think it becomes a tradition to some extent within the family unit.
And the funny thing about that is that whilst, these women that are leaving these important financial decisions to their spouse actually are running the day-to-day finances in the sense that maybe they're doing the grocery shopping or paying the bills. They just don't understand what the intricacies are around their finances, and they don't understand any of the important components of their finances, which just makes it really difficult. So like you said, women are leaving it to their spouses because it's easier.
Yes.
They feel like their partners know more about it than them.
Yes.
And there has been previous studies shown, in fact, that women have a better financial literacy ability than men. There has been studies that they've done in schools and in universities where they've actually done the same, but men were more confident.
Yes.
In terms of answering the questions than women, even though women actually knew more. So
yes.
Maybe it's also the feeling of lack of financial knowledge could also come down to a bit of a confidence thing.
That's correct.
Rather than an actual lack of knowledge.
And Marissa, I think it also comes down to sometimes how the community actually behave. For example, when at one time my husband and I went to buy a car, automatically the salesperson started talking to him, and he turns around and say, well, actually she's the one with the money and will want to buy the car and not me. So it's kind of a good how the community and the people around us behave is actually...
That is so true. And also when you look at financial advisors, financial advice industry and mortgage broking industry is predominantly dominated by males.
That's correct.
So when all of the advisors are males, it does also contribute.
It does.
At Rise High, we're pretty proud to have a really good balance between male and female advisors.
Yes.
But that's not the case for most financial advisors around Australia.
Yes.
So before we continue, just a few shout outs. Hi to Adriana, Sean, Ingrid, Michelle, Olivia, Pauline. We're so glad that you guys are joining us today. We'd love to hear your comments, questions, send them through to us while we're live. We'd love to chat about them while we're live today. So let's talk about we've talked about some of the reasons why this is happening.
Yes.
Let's talk about more specifically why it is so important for women to actually step up and not accept the current situation and actually start getting involved and understanding and taking control of the important financial decisions that are influencing their lives and their families.
And this is actually a fact that most women outlive men.
Yes.
Yes. So in a relationship, most of the time that the women would outlive the men. So it is important to be aware of where you are financially and not leave it till the last minute when it is actually too late.
Absolutely.
It is also a fact that in the last 30 years, divorce rate has been on the increase, and especially it is unfortunate, but that has happened, and it is actually happened a lot for women over 50, which is the boomers. So being able to be part of the decision making will actually also help us the women to plan our retirement. Mm-hmm. Knowing when we're going to be able to retire, knowing, if we were to take time off work and to look after the children, when we go back to work, our superannuation and our retirement plan is still on par. And so it is very important. I mean, the truth is that a lot of 8 out of 10 women have been known to end up having to take responsibility of their finances solely on their own. So these are very critical. We cannot just rely on our male partners to take care of us, because the time will come that we have to take that responsibility.
A man is not your financial plan, ladies.
That's correct. Yes, exactly right. And and look, I mean, as we said before, that 88% of millennials say that they wanted to be part of that decision making, but when the time comes to it, only 20% of do. So it is very important that when we say we wanted to be part of it, we will actually do it. As I said to Marissa in some conversation that we have, saying that we want to lose weight, but continue to watch Squid Game and having a bowl of popcorn in front of us is not going to help us change anything at all.
That's right. It's going to require the desire and also the action.
That's correct, yes.
And I think, you made such a good point before about the fact that there is a high probability that most Australian women will find themselves at a point in time in the future, whether they like it or not, having to manage their financial affairs. Whether that be through a relationship breakdown,
that's right,
whether it be through something serious happening to their partner, like serious injury, illness or death,
Yes.
that time, there is a high probability that time will come in a woman's life.
Yes.
And at that point in time, she must feel empowered to comfortably manage her financial position and know that she and her family are going to be financially secure moving forward.
That's right. And also, Marissa, of course, one of the important things, which is also very close to my heart, is the fact that a lot of time relationship abuse happened through financial control. So it is very important that we know, as women, we know exactly where our finances are with our partner.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen so many unfortunate cases, haven't we,
Yes.
Nani, where as a result of financial control, as a result of unawareness, unfortunately women have been left in a very, very bad financial position that will greatly impact their life as a result of something that their partner did that they were unaware of. And I just believe that's unacceptable. It is a form of domestic abuse.
Definitely, yes.
And it is a power that the male partner has over the female
Yes.
partner. And women have to stand up and say, well, you know what? I'm equally part of this relationship. I deserve to be part of the financial decisions. And even if you don't want to be the one making them solely, you need to
Yes.
contribute to the
That's
decisions.
definitely, yes. yeah.
Understand them and contribute.
That's correct. And be aware.
Be aware,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
That's right. Not put your head in the sand.
That's right, yes.
We've done some other great videos, you and me, on STD.
STD, the sexually transmitted death, and that is absolutely important. I mean, we have seen that happen, being asked to sign a paper that we are not aware of what it means,
Yeah.
and then end up to be responsible for it financially.
I think going back to your point about older women as well, it has been found that women over the age of 50 are the fastest rate, growing at the fastest rate of homelessness.
That's correct, yes.
So the fastest rate of homelessness is actually women over the age of 50, which is just devastating.
It is. It's heartbreaking for me.
Because most
yes.
of these women have had someone else control their financial decisions their whole life, which has left them with nothing.
Yes.
And then they've found themselves on their own for
Yes.
whatever the circumstance, and they have nothing.
Yes.
They have no super, they have no job.
That's
they
right.
just don't know what to do, and it's really not good enough.
No, that's right, yes. And I think, the sad thing is that sometimes it does end up with these women with children as well. And so if you're not doing it for anything else, but it's also for your children's future, you should definitely be invested in a financial decision.
So let's talk about what can women do to change this. What can they do to change their situation, to understand more about money and understand more about the decisions, and to change their involvement?
Well, first of all, I think it is very important that we give our voice about it.
Yes.
To tell our partner that we want it to be involved, that we are interested in every financial decision because it's impacting on not just one person's life. I think it is important to ask questions.
Yes.
When you have a meeting with financial advisors, with a mortgage broker, with an accountant, with a banker, ask the questions. If you do not understand, ask it, because that's what they are there for. If you do not ask, people assume that you understand or you do not care.
And I find that having done a lot of money mentoring for couples, I have found that sometimes women are afraid to actually say that to their husband and say that they want to be involved from a fear that their husband might think they don't trust them.
Yes, that's
Or
right.
from a
Yes.
fear, and sometimes when that conversation happens, the husband or the male partner can actually get a little bit frustrated
Yes.
and not be prepared to answer those questions fully. But in my experience, what I've found is generally that actually stems from the fact that the male partner doesn't understand it himself, and he doesn't actually. He's just taking advice from the accountant or financial planner that he doesn't actually truly understand, and he feels embarrassed that he can't explain that to his partner.
Yes.
Rather than the male partner not wanting the female partner to be involved. So I've seen this pattern over and over again, and it's so fascinating because it just makes you realise that there's probably a lot more men out there that actually want their female partners to be involved in these decisions.
Yes,
but they don't know how to have the conversation either.
That's correct.
And
yes.
It's a very awkward space.
Yeah, I think the good news from the study that we're referring to is that 94% of the millennial men that were leading financially in the relationship actually said that they wish that their wives are more interested.
There you go, ladies. 94% of your men want you to take, want you to play an active role in your financial decisions.
Yes.
So there's no excuse.
Yes, and I think it is, as I said, one of the things that I would suggest some of my clients to do even is that to go out and have a romantic dinner, which I think is so romantic to be talking about your future. What can we do today financially together? That means that we can retire early, traveling again. Yes, COVID will be in the past and we will be able to travel again. To be able to do that and just relax, working, less hours, less stress, but financially secured.
We need more Australian couples going on regular money dates.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
Let's create, with your partner, create a regular money date and lock it in the diary. We've had a question come through which relates to this topic, how to start the conversation without straining the relationship. Like we said, it's a good question because every relationship is different, so there's no one-size-fits-all approach. But what would you say to that question? What's the best approach in terms of being open and honest about this without putting that strain on the relationship, Nani?
Look, I think that being able to say to, if you are not able to say to your partner, openly that you are interested in your financial well-being together, then I think you really need to have this serious conversation about the whole relationship itself. Mm-hmm. It is important. If you trust, you need to have trust in the relationship and sharing.
And open communication.
So you need to be able to say to your partner, say, hey, I'm interested actually to know more about our home loan. Where are we at the moment? Are we making prepayments, regularly? Can I have, making sure that you have access to the joint bank account?
Absolutely.
That is so important. And as I said to you, you know what? Go out on a romantic date, as we said, and bring out the conversation about, isn't it great that we could have this dinner tonight? Isn't it amazing if we could have this more regularly in the future without any stress?
Yeah.
And that is like kind of a nice conversation to start with. And then talking to your husband, about what you know. I heard today that they're talking about home loan interest rate dropping. Do you think we need to review our home loan? Should we be talking to a finance broker, to a mortgage broker to talk and review our home loan? That shows that you're interested and that you are not just leaving it all out on him, because really he could be stressed about it and he could not tell you about it because he doesn't think that you care.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, is just bringing the topic forward in a non-threatening way and establishing the fact that it's not a lack of trust, it's actually about wanting it to be a partnership.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yes.
Wanting the two of you to work in partnership together on all of life's major decisions.
Yes.
And financial decisions just happen to be, some of those major decisions that you and your partner will have to make through life's journey.
Yes. And I think, starting saying that, what can I do to help you with our finances? Show that you are interested, that you wanted to be part of it. You are not saying, I want to take control. You wanted to participate in it.
Yeah. So hopefully that answers the question. Going back to some more tips about what women can do to change this situation, I feel like there's a big need for women to increase their level of confidence and understanding when it comes to financial literacy.
Yes.
And what can be done about that, Nani?
So, being able to regularly go to financial literacy workshops, for example.
Mm-hmm. And we hold lots of free financial literacy workshops at Rise High.
Yes. And, being able to talk to a financial advisor
or your friendly Rise High mortgage broker.
Yes, and of course, go to our website. We have got lots of tips on money management.
We've got a great YouTube page called Rise High TV, which has hundreds of videos about money management and financial literacy that is very useful.
Yes, and ask questions. You know, we are here to help. So whenever you need to, just drop us a question and ask a question. We'll be more than happy to help.
And I think the key is, if you don't feel like it's something that you can empower yourself with on your own, don't worry. A lot of people will be in that position. Just find someone that you can trust, that you feel comfortable with, that will help guide you through and navigate your financial literacy learning.
Yes.
Like, for example, anyone at the Rise High team would be more than happy to sit down at no cost with any female and explain things to you and help you to understand or answer any of your questions so that you feel like you have a better gauge on things. So that's part of something that we just feel is really important to give back to the community. So
Yes.
if you ever feel like you're in a situation where you just don't know where to start with your learning, there is things that you don't understand, or if you feel like you're in a position where there is a position of financial control and that you're not quite happy with how the situation is and you need to understand more about that, that's something that we can help you with as well.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's sort of, you know, what women can do. But let's talk about men, because men are a big part of the solution.
Definitely.
Too.
Yes.
You know, this isn't all on women. Women have to step up and fight for this, but men also have to help make this happen.
That's right.
What
yes.
are your thoughts about what men can do about being part of the solution, Nani?
Well, invite your wife to be part of the solution.
Absolutely.
You know, being able to talk to your wife, being able to tell them that you need help or their contribution. Ask, you know, what do they want in the future financially, so then you can sort of go, let's plan this together.
Yes.
And not just yourself planning it. You know, asking what do they want, asking for their feedback. And, you know, when you go to see a third party, you know, make sure that you involve them.
Absolutely. When you see your accountant, when
that's
you see your
right,
financial
yes.
planner, when you see your mortgage
That's
broker.
right. And saying that, you know, are you happy with this?
Yes.
So it shows that you are actually appreciating the feedback.
Yes.
And, you know, again, organize the romantic date. I love the idea of a romantic date talking about money. How can that be not romantic at all?
There's nothing more romantic for us mortgage brokers than having a couple that are in sync with their financial decisions.
Definitely, that's correct, yes. Because, Marissa, I mean, at Rise High, we do want to empower everyone
Yes.
and empower a couple so then they can actually retire early, achieve
Yes.
financial independence. That would be an awesome thing for us, for our clients to achieve. So,
That's right.
you know, for me, being able to go out and offer a bottle of wine, talking about what life can be in 20 years' time, what you can achieve together financially, I think is a beautiful thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think the other thing that men can do is also encourage their partners to increase their financial literacy.
Yes.
And at the same time, the men might want to also increase their financial literacy. I mean, actually, you know, like I said, I've got experience doing money mentoring with many couples, and often the female might feel like she doesn't know enough, but her male partner doesn't know any more than her.
Yes.
It's just really a confidence thing. So I equally see many males out there who are actually in charge of these financial decisions who don't truly understand the impact of the decisions that they're making,
Yes.
that also need that financial literacy help as well. So I guess for males, it's about stepping up and saying, you know what, I'd like to learn more, I'd like to understand better, and I'd like my partner to come along on the learning journey with me.
Yes, that's definitely. And as I said before, Marissa, that as a finance broker, we play that role importantly.
Yes.
In our meeting with our clients. It's very important that we make sure that all parties understand equally of their financial commitment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is, I think, is critical for us. We have this opportunity to work with our clients and making sure that we give them the equal treatment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, look, I hope you've enjoyed today's session. I hope that if you're a female, I hope you've been inspired to step up, talk to your partner, take a more active role in the financial decisions. If you're a male tuning in, I hope that you've been inspired to help empower your female partner to get more involved and be more passionate about learning. And it's probably also important to say that these sort of conversations need to happen equally in same-sex relationships as well.
Definitely.
It's not just female-male relationships,
Yes.
also same-sex relationships where one person is taking control of the financial decisions, the other person's sitting back. At Rise High, we believe that every relationship should be equal.
Yes.
And that both partners in the relationship should have equal contribution to the important financial
Yes.
decisions. So
Most definitely.
hopefully we've inspired you today to step up and get more involved in the financial decisions that you're making for your family. And we're always here to support you. We're always here to help you. Definitely can help and support you with no judgment. And we're always happy to talk to anyone that needs that extra bit of help and support through their learning journey. Thanks for tuning in today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.